What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals. My name is Darren, aka DJ, and this is the podcast where we talk about movies and comics and everything in between. I am joined today by my sister, Destiny.
Hello, everybody.
And that's it, because Derrick's not here today. We finally did it, guys. He's fired. Yes. It's gone. Gone forever.
We do not have a replacement yet, but we are accepting applications.
Yeah, so send in your application. It'd be nice. Yeah, he'll be back next week, but he's just gone for this week. But this week we're going to talk about the series finale of Gotham. So we took a look at that. Now, I personally haven't been watching Gotham, but I did jump back in to take a look at some of this last season. So we'll take a look at our thoughts on that. But first, of course, we always go over the news. And I'm going to give a spoiler warning for Avengers Endgame right here. Not for the whole news, but we're going to start by talking about some Endgame things. So, spoiler warning for that. If you haven't watched the movie, maybe skip ahead.
I mean, by now, everyone's seen it, right? Like, the whole world have seen this movie.
Hopefully, I don't know.
Definitely made enough money for the whole world to see the movie.
I'm guessing you made it, since it made $2 billion already in 2 weeks. That's crazy. But yeah, I'll put some, like, chapter markers in it, so you can skip past in-game spoilers if you need to. Anyhow, yeah, so, just some news on Endgame. It passed Titanic and money made overall time, and it just has to pass Avatar. Avatar? Avatar. You haven't heard of that movie? No. Avatar, not The Last Airbender, for the #1 movie spot. So, yeah, it's in #2 right now.
Yeah, what I find interesting that the movie has been out for 11 days. So that's not even counting today.
Right.
And it already passed the 2 billion mark, and that I think is definitely the fastest ever. It took Avatar 47 days to make the 2 billion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, I mean, they made $1 billion in the first week, and then they made $1 billion in the second week. That's insane.
Yeah, that is quite crazy. But this was an event, and I think you earn it when you have 21 other movies to lead up to this, you know?
Yeah, so I don't think there's any question now about them surpassing Avatar. Avatar was at 2.7 billion.
Yeah, over its run, they may, but they're still like 600 million away or something like that.
Okay, but it's only been out for 2 weeks. It's going to be, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not going to make $1 billion next week, I don't think.
It shouldn't.
But
yeah.
I feel like I don't see how it couldn't at this point.
Yeah, if it made 500 million next week, I wouldn't be surprised, which still is a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, people have to literally stop seeing the movie.
Yeah. For
it not to hit the 3 billion mark.
Yeah, so it's probably going to go ahead and hit that 3 billion and pass up Avatar. Movie's doing really good, and after everyone's watched it, the overall consensus is still positive on the movie. So it's a really good movie. Marvel really stumbled onto something when they made Iron Man. I believe the studio passed $20 billion in profits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or not profits. Revenue, I guess.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah. So $20 billion they've made off of all of their movies.
That's pretty good. Like, I don't think they could have imagined that it would be so massive.
That's
success.
I mean, that's almost $1 billion per movie. Like, and I know some movies didn't make that much, but
that's still pretty good.
Yeah, like overall, when you average it out, $1 billion every movie they make. That's crazy. Yeah. But talking about Endgame, and here's where we get into some spoilers. The Russo brothers commented on the question we asked last week about Captain America and his time travel antics in the end of the movie and how it kind of breaks the movie. So for those of you who've watched the movie, you know Captain America traveled back in time to put the Infinity Stones back in their places, but instead of coming back, he lived out his life until he was an old man. So we asked, that kind of doesn't make sense because they set a precedence precedence.
Mm-hmm, that word.
That word. One of those words.
Yes.
Yeah. They set it up that you can't change the future. Right. So him going back in time, he really wouldn't be able to live back there without causing a branch timeline, as was explained by the Ancient One.
Yes, the Ancient One. I think the Hulk said it too, that you create a different and divergent timeline.
Right, and in your own timeline, like if I go back into my past, that point in time is now in the future part of my...
Right, but your present becomes your future becomes your past? Something like that? I wrote it down. No,
your future is your present, and it's weird.
I wrote it down. Should I get my notes?
It's easy when you like if you have like a diagram. I could say like it moves this spot of time to the beginning or whatever to the end. One of those things. We're not explaining this well at all.
Should I get my note?
No, it's fine.
Okay, but basically, it's going back in the past doesn't change the present.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, you can't change. It already happened. You can't change it.
Yeah.
So the question was, how would he be able to live back there without doing that? And it was understanding that...
Right. It was also because he came back in the present timeline as an old man.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense because he's supposed to be in an alternate reality.
Right. Because the understanding from them saying all that is when they went back in time, they were in offshoots of their own timeline. Mm-hmm. So when they went back to Avengers 1, it was a separate timeline of Avengers 1 because they're there now. And then when they went back, since if you return the stone back to its place and they leave, then that timeline ends. Basically, it's kind of the understanding. It wasn't exactly said in the movie, but it kind of makes sense.
Right.
Because, say, if you put the stone back where it was, so the stones are only things that make permanent branches. So once they left the Avengers 1 timeline, 2012,
right,
then that timeline ended once that stone was put back in place.
Right, because they had to put the stone back to as close to as the moment that they took it from. Although it makes the digger, how did he manage to get all those stones back himself?
Hey, they're doing a What If series on Disney Plus.
So what if this is a bunch of nonsense that they came up with?
I think it would be pretty cool if they do like a cartoon series of Captain America putting the stones back. That might be interesting.
Okay.
So here's what the Russo brothers explained about what happened with Captain America. They said he indeed was in a branch timeline when he went in the past, which leaves the question, well, how did he get back to our present as an old man? Because he wasn't living in that past of that movie. Mm-hmm. He was living in an alternate timeline. So they said, well, that's the mystery. But it kind of makes you speculate that he came back to our timeline. Like, he traveled there. He still has the suit. He lived his life. After Peggy dies, he puts the suit back on and travels back towards the present time.
The PEM particles to go back to the... Okay, I can see that. I can see he still has the PEM particles that he was using to travel through the different timelines.
Yeah.
And he uses that to travel to the present/future.
Right, because he was supposed to have it to travel back anyway.
Yes. Okay, I can see that, I guess.
Yeah. So that's the only explanation. Which also, when people are questioning what happened with Loki and the Tesseract, nothing, because that timeline...
Right.
It couldn't affect the future.
No, Loki's in another timeline, so whatever he's doing in that timeline, I thought it would be very interesting to see what he's doing in that timeline.
I think if they're doing a What If series...
But the What If is a cartoon, though, they said.
Yeah, it's a cartoon series, but it's connected to the MCU nonetheless. Well, What If MCU. So it doesn't affect the MCU proper, but It's the same characters. If they're doing that, they can do a bunch of series on the effects of them going back in time or to these alternate dimensions.
I guess that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I would find it interesting. But I think for the movies, at least, and of course this is not confirmed completely, but I think all the timelines are closed. Captain America just jumped back as there's one stream of time going on.
They're all, although Captain America's still screwed up. Because wherever timeline he goes to, there's two Captain Americas.
Yeah, he screwed that up. Okay. But because the stones are back in place and he went back to his own timeline, it ends, apparently.
Okay.
So there's still one branch because only the stones create permanent branches.
Yeah.
This is not confirmed at all. But it's a little confusing, but I think that's the best understanding of it.
Okay.
So yeah, that happened. So next up, the review embargo on Detective Pikachu has been lifted. It's coming out this coming Friday. So the critics have weighed in. It's got on Rotten Tomatoes at least. Well, first, across the board, it's mostly positive on most of these review sites. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 70% positive rating.
Sounds about right.
And it's about a 6.3, somewhere around there, out of 10. So, I mean...
decent.
Yeah.
I think is what you can expect out of a Detective Pikachu movie.
Yeah. It seems appropriate. I didn't expect this to be an 8 or whatever. It's a Pikachu movie. Let's be real. However, I did take the liberty to read some of the reviews, and I'm looking at the negative reviews, and like some of the critics are putting stuff like, "Oh, the plot is underwhelming." I'm like, it's
a movie about Pokemon. Like, I mean, how whelmed do you want to be by this plot?
Is that the word, whelmed?
Whelmed.
You know, yeah, you don't want to be underwhelmed. You want to be whelmed, just right in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it to be weird because, let's be honest, this is PG, right? Mm-hmm. So this movie is meant for children like 5 and up. How complex do you want the plot to be in this? So stuff like that kind of confused me about the reviews because they're reviewing this like it should be something that it's not.
Sometimes that's why I have a problem with like adults who are not familiar with the source material, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get these old people reviewing these movies and they're like, cartoons are stupid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they are, but it's a cartoon movie, so who cares?
Yeah, like one guy said, is Pokemon even still relevant? And I'm like, oh, dude.
I mean, that was my question because I stopped with Pokemon in like 1995. So,
well, that was before it came out, but okay.
My point was, I watched the first season, and that was all I needed.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have, the Game Boy game.
Well, I think you stopped probably at Silver and Gold, the second generation of
yes,
Pokemon.
I played Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Game Boy. But I was like, is Pokemon still a thing? But apparently it is. But I don't know because I aged out of that.
Yeah, and you didn't pay attention to the market, but it stayed big. Like, it wasn't as crazy as it was when it first came out or when Pokemon Go came out, but it stayed big. Like, it's one of the highest grossing franchises out there. Still.
Okay, well then, yeah.
So, it's funny to see, like, it's like you going, oh, was Pokemon relevant? And you're not the demographic at all.
Right, so why would I review this Pokemon movie?
Yeah.
Like, why is it, you know what I mean? Like, it's like me reviewing a Polly Pocket movie.
Or, yeah, they're making a Dora the Explorer movie, and me personally, I'm like, why? But there is an audience out there for it, and if I watch it, I've watched 0 Dora the Explorer at all, and if I grade it on the same grade that I'm doing for, let's say, Avengers Endgame, because it's not, Avengers Endgame is not like an artsy movie, we understand that, but it's a spectacle, just like kind of Dora the Explorer or Pokemon would be. But if I grade it on the same terms, that would be different. It's not fair.
Although I could say, if it's a good movie, it doesn't matter. Because I watched the Simpsons movie. Never have watched a single episode of The Simpsons.
Really?
But I thought the movie was hilarious.
True. Yeah, if you're a good movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think that shows in the results that most of the critics are giving this movie a positive. Because, all of them didn't grow up with Pokemon or watch it or play the games. I heard some people say, is this really a video game movie? Just to put it out there, guys, Detective Pikachu is a video game. It's like people were saying, like, oh, this isn't, can you really call it a video game movie when it isn't like the games, like Red or Blue, like you played? And it's like, no, Detective Pikachu is an actual video game.
It's just not here?
No, it's here. It came out in 2016 in America.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, for the 3D. Well, you don't have a 3DS either.
I still have my Game Boy Pocket.
Well, okay. What's the last game that came out for Game Boy Pocket?
I have no idea.
So I don't think that's relevant. Yeah. So I just thought it interesting, and we were talking about a little bit about this before this started. Even with Avengers Endgame, some of the people, I get if you're a critic, you have to rate this movie. But then there's some people that like they're not into superheroes at all. They hate the genre. They think it's stupid, and they give Avengers Endgame a horrible review. And it's like, is that really fair?
Yeah, because I mean, if you don't like superhero movies, you're not gonna like the movie. You know what I mean? You're just not.
Or, well, if you're a critic, you shouldn't be rating it on those factors.
Right. You can't put it on the same level.
Because I will take it back. You can't say that, as a critic, because you want it to be unbiased. So you can't just say you shouldn't criticize it unless you're a superhero fan. However, you need to rate this as a movie itself, taking away all your dislike for superheroes and stuff like that.
True. You got to be unbiased. And then, I mean, you can't put it on the same level as, like, like movies that have cultural significance. Cultural significance?
Cultural, yeah.
Yes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, Schindler's List or any other movie that's supposed to be really good. I don't know. I don't watch those kind of movies a lot. But you know what I mean? Like, those are movies that, mean something. It's an action movie.
Yeah.
If things blow up, it makes it a good movie.
True. I mean, Fast and Furious is loved, and you can't tell me the story is really... I haven't watched a lot, but I'm going to guess the story is not there.
I'm going to say I liked the first one when it first... I really liked the first one, but it was cars, and they were doing things with cars.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as an adult now, I'm like, these movies are dumb, but they're entertaining, and that's all it needs to be. Entertaining at the same time.
And that's the thing. I think that's the biggest thing. Maybe we should criticize things on its entertainment factor. Yeah. Like, is it entertaining overall as a movie? And since we were talking about Detective Pikachu, that's what I've been hearing from some of the critics. It's like they were widely entertained. I mean, you got Ryan Reynolds in here, and we know he's a good comedian. So, like, period, hands down, that should probably close your deal on it. Plus, they put a lot of work on this. Legendary Pictures and Warner Brothers. Surprising that they're behind this project. Like, these aren't unknown studios or anything. You could tell by the trailer that they put actual work into this movie and didn't just throw it out there. Oh, Pokemon's making money. Let's put this out here. So it seems interesting. I'm going to do a review of it next week. That'll be attached to our episode, but that's about it. I don't think the other two are watching it.
I am not.
So that's fine. But we'll check it out, and we'll see if we agree with the 6.3 out of 10 rating that seems to be getting. Another video game character. Sonic the Hedgehog. All right, so we mentioned before in the podcast that the movie was coming out live action for Sonic, and they dropped a trailer.
My initial thoughts when I first heard of this movie, I'm like, this is going to be trash. After watching the trailer, I'm like, this is going to be trash.
Yeah, that's, it's good that this was following our discussion of Detective Pikachu, because let's put this in perspective. When they announced a Pokemon movie, live action, we all said, this is going to be trash, like you mentioned. Same result with Sonic. They announced it, and we were like, yeah, this is going to be trash. Difference. When the trailer for Detective Pikachu came out, everyone was like, oh, this might actually be decent, you know? This trailer for Sonic is not, oh my God.
The best thing about it is they got the sound effect when he collect the rings.
Wow, that's not hard to get. I'm pretty sure I can download that right now.
That was like the best thing. Okay, number one problem. Why are they playing Gangster's Paradise?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Gangster's Paradise fits this movie. Doesn't fit this movie at all. Like,
doesn't fit.
Oh my God. It's like, I don't know, avocado and jelly sandwich. That's how well this fits. Somebody probably eats that.
Someone eats that.
I know they do. But yes, why? That's a big question. Why were you playing Gangster's Paradise?
And I'm like, okay, I'm listening to it, and it just... First of all, the trailer didn't even fit the theme of the song.
You know.
I'm just like, who picked this song?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a good song. And it fits so many movies. It just does not fit this movie.
Could have put it on 21 Bridges.
exactly what I was thinking about.
It probably would have
been excellent on 21 Bridges trailer. That's the movie I thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm like, first of all, Sonic and gangster. What part of Sonic is gangster?
Nothing. You know he's based on Bill Clinton. His personality is based on Bill Clinton.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Okay, so definitely no one against the Paradise.
No one against this Paradise.
Yes.
And he's got Michael Jackson's shoes. Because you got to remember when Sonic came out, right?
Okay, I mean, those are all very interesting facts that I didn't need to know.
So none of that says Gangster's Paradise at all. And the trailer didn't even show it.
The trailer didn't fit it at all. The trailer is bright and happy. And then I'm like, do y'all know the words to the song?
Yeah.
Like, what struggle is Sonic having?
I think they just liked the music. And they wanted to put the music. They're like, oh, this music is cool.
But the song has meaning.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Horrible choice.
Horrible choice. I want to take it back. It wasn't the sound of the rings that was the best part of this trailer. Best part of this trailer was the Paramount logo with the Sonic rings instead of stars.
Okay.
That was the best part of this trailer.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
You're right. I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Also, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
That should work. Like, it should.
I didn't think... First of all, he was extra loud and over the top. I didn't find not a single part of him in that scene funny.
No, that wasn't. And that's my thing. Like, as a villain, like, when you say, oh, we got Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, I go, oh, wow, okay, you should do a good job. But and they lingered on him in that scene, because that scene went on for a bit. It wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't funny the first time they did it, and after doing it 5 times, it still wasn't funny.
Yeah. So, but I don't blame Jim Carrey. That's obvious writers.
Well, no, I can't blame. But I mean, seriously, when the last time Jim Carrey been relevant?
I don't know. It's been a while. But this is the first time he's come back to his zany. Should I say zany? I guess.
I don't know. I just whatever. I feel like he ain't been relevant since Sonic been relevant.
True, Sonic has not been relevant for. Well, no, Sonic Mania came out last year, and that game is excellent.
I don't play video games.
Yes, I don't. You have a PlayStation 4 for no reason at all.
No reason at all. It is a $200 box.
Yeah. So you had that. James Marsden is in this.
Is that the guy who was Cyclops?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I couldn't figure out who that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
For no reason, I don't know. He's not useful. They do kind of like the similar scene of him finding Sonic, like they did in the Pokemon trailer with the guy finding Pikachu. It doesn't land as well.
No, just nothing. This movie's gonna be horrible.
I mean, generally, I would say you can't judge a movie by its trailer, but lately, you've been able to. And the scenes, at least, that they put out, it doesn't look that great. Even they had a slow motion scene, like Quicksilver.
Right.
It looked kind of wonky to me. I didn't...
Yeah, but I feel like, I didn't like how Sonic looked in it. And I feel like for a movie that I would be on the fence about, you would have to sell me on your trailer.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this for this podcast. Let's be honest. Like, seriously, personally, I don't want to see it. And then for business reasons, I kind of like, I want to scratch this because it's...
Yeah.
No.
I mean, unless it somehow managed to get 8 out of 10 on the reviews or something, then I'll be like, I just got to see it.
Yeah. There was one funny joke in this trailer.
Which one was that?
When I guess Sonic was in his bag. And he said, and they was like, "Is there a baby in your bag?" And he said,
"Oh,
it's not my baby."
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, it is in the bag, but it's not mine."
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of chuckled at that because it was kind of funny, but that's it.
Yeah. No, not good at all.
I'm impressed. Interesting that you mentioned his design because they have come out and said, due to the reaction to this trailer, they are changing Sonic's design.
Oh.
In the movie.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that's going to cost more money, isn't it?
It is. I hope they know no one's going to go see this movie.
But the thing is, maybe it wasn't finished. Maybe they just had it for these... No, I'm saying they might have had Sonic done for the scene only, and it's not finished for the whole movie. So they have the space to change it.
Right, This is like the Will Smith being blue thing. Like, oh no, yeah, we weren't done with it. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, they decided to make him blue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably not going to be good. A little bit of sad news. Chewbacca actor Peter Mayhew passed away.
Oh, there's an actual person in that thing?
Yes. What did you think it was?
I had no idea who that guy was, or you know what I mean. I don't know. It could have been 8 different people for all I knew.
I know you don't follow Star Wars, but he was, except for in the latest movie, he was Chewbacca.
Okay.
But you know, for some of the scenes in the Force Awakens, that was the latest one out, Episode 7. Yeah.
Are you asking me? Because I don't know.
The Force Awakens, he was in, but he couldn't do all the scenes because he died at 74, so he was up in age there.
Okay.
So you know, today being Star Wars Day,
May the 4th.
May the 4th.
I know that because of the Yankees.
Yeah. At first, I thought they just chose May the 4th because it sounds like May the Force be with you.
Oh, that's not why they chose it?
No, apparently Star Wars came out on May the 4th.
I always thought because it sounds like May the 4th, because I was like, oh, it took me a long time to get that, but that's not why it's Star Wars Day.
Yeah, I guess it's just a coincidence.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think it's cool because I was like, oh, May the 4th be with you, you know?
That's what I thought.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, sadly, and, you know, Star Wars was a big cultural phenomenon, and Peter Mayhew was a big part of that. So, of course, sad to see an actor go. He was 74, so at least he lived quite a bit.
Question.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader.
Yes.
Was he actually acting the scenes, or was he just the voice?
He wasn't. And
it was that guy?
Fun fact. The guy didn't know he was being voiced over in the first movie. So he sat down and watched the movie. But if you ever seen them play the scenes with the guy's original voice, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, he sounds horrible.
Okay. Didn't know that.
So, yeah.
Oh, also, not really relevant to these kind of movies, but John Singleton, he was the director of Boys in the Hood, also died this week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we lost 2 people.
He was a lot younger. I think he had a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember seeing all those. So, yeah. So, Peter Mayhew, John Singleton, unfortunately, passed away. In other news, Legion Season 3 has a release date. So, it's the final season of Legion. Of course, they're closing down all of the Fox Marvel properties slowly. June 24th be the debut of Season 3.
So, I got 1 month to watch Season 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good, though.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I haven't got past episode 2.
Well, I haven't finished Season 2, so we're in the same boat. So I gotta finish Season 2, and then we can jump into Season 3.
Okay.
But it's like, you know, you don't have time anymore. There's so many shows to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh gosh, I can't do this. Unless this becomes my job, guys. Wink, wink. Wink, wink to the audience. Unless this podcast becomes my job, then I may have the time.
You gotta make equal or make more than what I make.
Than what you make? Oh,
yeah.
I said my job, not yours.
Oh, okay. So I can keep my day job.
Yeah, you make a lot more money than me. It's fine.
Okay. And I'm like, wait, we get some serious sponsors.
It won't take long to make what I make. Trust me. So yeah, so Legion's coming out. Looking forward to that. We'll probably do an episode on it or something. Also, there was a trailer for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is coming out this Friday as well.
Yes, very interesting. So there's an evil Coulson. All right, so here's my question, because I kind of cheated last season. Since they were taking so long to figure out Daisy blown up the roll or whatever, I only watched the season finale. And I didn't even watch the entire season finale because there was a lot of talking. So I fast forwarded to the end when Coulson leaves the ship and he goes to Tahiti. So how does Fist end up frozen in space?
Wow. Wow. Oh my God.
And then we can get back to the trailer.
Okay. Spoilers for season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if you haven't watched it. So, this is a shame. So, okay. What happened last season? You know, they were in the future.
Yeah.
And Fitz was still in the past. So, the alien thing, did you meet the alien? Oh, the alien thing was already gone. You don't even know about the alien thing. So, there was an alien thing helping him out, and he let them know what was happening in the future.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, because he's like a chroma something, whatever. They travel through time.
Did the guy backstab him? I knew you can't trust him. You can't.
He did not backstab him. He was good. So, because Fitz couldn't travel forward in time, they froze him and went out into space, so that he can show up in the future and save them.
How does he show up in the future if he's frozen in space?
The guy was watching over him.
No, how do you if I freeze myself, how do I show up in the future?
The same way Captain America did.
He had some PIM particles.
No. The first time Captain America, he was
so
frozen.
He had to age up into the future?
No, he didn't age because he was frozen.
I don't understand. Okay, wait. So he got frozen and then they unfroze him in the future?
Yes.
But how did he stay frozen? Oh, because they went back in the past and left him behind?
Okay. Okay. I don't even know where you're... Okay.
What? We don't have to talk about this now.
No. Fitz was in the past.
Yes.
The guy had technology. You know the technology that wonderful technology that doesn't exist, but everyone wish it did, where you can freeze people and they stay alive, but time stops for them.
Yes.
So they had that. They froze him, took him into space so he'll be safe. And then they unfroze him at a certain time in the future so he can meet up with the people in the future.
Okay, I got it. That part I understand.
So he went back to the past with everybody else and died.
But his future self is still in space.
Okay. So he's frozen in space, right?
Yes.
70 years pass.
The world blows up.
The world blows up. He goes, he wakes up, goes, meets with them. But then they jump back to the past where he already left to be in space. So at that point in time, there are two Fitz.
Okay.
One frozen waiting to be woken up, and one that already woke up and went back into the past.
Okay.
So the Fitz that died is the future Fitz.
See, here's the thing. I didn't know he had died.
Because you didn't watch the episode. How do you miss that part?
Was it in the last season?
Yes, it was the last episode.
I told y'all fast forward. They were taking too long. I only watched the last 5 minutes of the last episode.
Okay. You can't talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You haven't even watched it.
I watched like the first 8 episodes. And then I was like, this is taking too long. So then I started to watch the season finale. And there was a lot of talking. So
they had to wrap up the season.
Man, it was a lot of talking. So then I just watched the last 5 minutes.
You'll be so confused because the end of it has nothing to do with the beginning.
Well, I saw what I wanted to see. Coulson dies in Tahiti. That was all I needed. So anyways, this trailer, that's what we were supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, the trailer. So there's the evil Coulson. Oh, you mentioned something about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that's not going to be happening.
So I read, because they reviewed the first episode for reviewers, positive. They also said that they do not address Infinity War or Endgame. So, wait. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. been gone for a whole year?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's long. So anyways.
It ended. That season ended right after Infinity War.
Yeah, so not going to be addressed. Going to completely ignore that half the world died and came back.
See, this makes me not want to watch this because I don't care how good this season ends up. How can you not address the fact that for 5 whole years people disappeared? Or if they didn't jump 5 years in the future, let's say they didn't, there's people gone right now.
Yes, I do. I mean, it deserves a throwaway line like they always have.
Yeah, like you gotta mention something.
Yeah, it does. From the trailers, it kind of reminds me of Terminator.
With the Coulson coming from the other dimension and he's killing people.
Yeah, do you get a Terminator vibe from that?
Yeah, it looks really good.
It does. I mean, yeah, Terminator's a good movie, so.
Yeah. So it looks interesting. I kind of want to know what's up with it. Obviously, he's a Coulson from a different world. So, not the same Phil Coulson. I want to see what happens. It's a shorter season, so we're not going to have so many, like you were saying with the last season, and you got bored. They did take a while to get out of the future.
They did. And then when they made it back, they were taking so long. It was just...
Yeah, it's the same kind of problem that you had with some of the Netflix shows, where some of the episodes kind of dragged on because you had to fulfill this 13-episode quota. Mm-hmm. So this one is shorter, so we should be able to get a more cohesive story and move at a quicker pace. So I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yes, although I like Daisy's hair. I think they finally figured out what to do with her hair.
Okay, I wasn't looking at her hair.
It looks good, at least from the trailer.
Okay,
because before that little half short long thing, I was not feeling it.
No, it wasn't the business.
No.
All right.
Just want to put that out there.
Okay. Yeah. Mac is the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really hate this character.
Man, I wanted to be like, if there's one person on this team I wish would die, it's Mac.
It's Mac. Yeah. Please.
First of all, you are too big to be that whiny.
God. So yeah. But they didn't tell you a lot. Just there's an evil Coulson. They don't know the things you'll normally expect. Like some of the team doesn't want to hurt him because it's Coulson, and then the other people are going, this isn't the Coulson. We know that type of thing. So, other than that,
I think it'll be good.
Pretty good. We'll look forward to seeing that next week. We'll probably do a small segment on the first episode, see how it turned out. All right. Amy Pascal. She is the producer in Sony. Mm-hmm. She's behind the Spider-Man movies, but also some of the James Bond movies, like Casino Royale. So a lot of her movies kind of hit or miss. She had Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, great, and some other movies that weren't so great. So she's leaving Sony.
Where's she going?
Universal.
Okay.
So it is a story because it does throw the question up. Because Avi Arad, who is also behind Spider-Man movies, like Spider-Man 3, and is pushing for the Sinister Six movie.
Without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Who stops the Sinister Six if there's... God,
yeah,
whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Venom's our Spider-Man, okay? We just gotta accept it.
Boo. Continue on your story with
So... The question is, how is this going to affect Spider-Man in the MCU?
Well, how would it affect Spider-Man in the MCU?
Maybe it'd be more difficult to keep him. I'm not sure because we got to remember, like, people are praising Amy Pascal, but we got to remember this is the woman, and this has been confirmed. When Kevin Feige first asked to bring Spider-Man into the MCU, she threw a sandwich at him. She threw a sandwich at him.
Wow.
And told him to get the F out. So,
what does Universal make again? I think I thought amusement park. But
Transformers.
Oh yeah, she's only going to help that franchise next.
I don't know. They have the rights to the Hulk too, so we don't know how that's going to affect the Hulk.
It don't matter if it's not the MCU Hulk. It doesn't affect the Hulk to me.
Yeah, well, I don't think Universal can make their own movie, but Marvel can't either. I think
but we don't need a separate one, so we good.
Yeah. So that's just it's a small bit of news, but it's something happening, and it may affect the MCU. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I personally didn't like her. From what I said.
Know her.
Oh no, I've known of her.
From reading you don't news. Know her.
Oh yeah, from what I've heard, I didn't like her.
Okay. Yes. All right.
And then, like, even she was the one in an interview that said Venom was a part of the MCU, and she was in the interview with Kevin Feige, and he gave her like a look like, no, it's not. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is assumed that it's set to film next year. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they're getting all that together. Apparently, the positive.
I heard a rumor about Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, what's that?
That what's the name of that thing? Beta Ray somebody or another.
Yeah,
might be in it.
The one Thor, other Thor guy.
Don't ask me about other.
Beta Ray Bill. He's Thor.
Okay.
Oh, he's like
a goat looking thing or something, right?
Yeah.
So rumor I read, didn't really whole thing because I'm like I don't really know who that guy is, he'll be in the movie.
Interesting. They already teased him. He was on, in Ragnarok. The Grandmaster had like that building with all the champion faces on it. Mm-hmm. His face was on there.
Oh, okay.
Which was interesting.
I'm going to go back and check that out.
Yeah. He had an episode on Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes.
Was it a weird episode?
I guess. I don't think it was. Did you skipped over it?
I probably did.
Oh my god. Okay. How do you watch TV shows? You can't just skip episodes.
I do. I'll be like, oh, is Captain America the star of this episode? No. Next.
It was Thor.
I don't like Thor. I mean, I like,
You like Chris Hemsworth Thor.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever. What'd you think of Fat Thor?
He was still Thor. It was funny. I'm not going to dislike him.
Okay. Rumor that may be close to being confirmed. Star Trek 4 may be directed by Quentin Tarantino.
That's going to be a very strange Star Trek movie.
I'm like, that's going to be interesting.
Yes. So they're doing 4 of these. They don't stop at 3?
No one stops at 3 anymore. You gotta make that money.
Okay. This is another series of movies I don't like, so I can't say.
I'm kind of... No, they already have 4, didn't they? Or that was 3? No, obviously not, because they're saying Star Trek 4. That was a stupid question. They had 3. I liked the first one and the third one.
Which one had Benedict Cumberbatch?
The second one.
I don't remember if I liked that one or not. I might not.
That one was okay. A lot of people didn't like it. It wasn't Benedict's fault.
I don't remember. He seemed kind of cool. I don't think I finished the movie. I can't say.
But I did like the first one, and the third one was good. It had Idris Elba in it.
Was that on Netflix?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember a lot about the movie. I'm not like crazy over the Star Trek movies, but I'll watch them. It's interesting enough.
I don't know. It's one of those movies that took me like 5 times.
I heard they had like some casting problems. The reason why they haven't done 4 yet, because both Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pine, I think they were having trouble getting back.
Makes sense. I mean, they've both been in everything. And then, what's her face in it too?
Zoe Saldana. Yeah, she is.
So yeah, I mean, although I thought Chris Hemsworth's not really in it. Didn't he play his father in the first one?
Yeah, in the first movie, but they were bringing him back for something. They wanted to, at least.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
Yeah. That was before he was Thor.
Yeah. To me, I'm like, oh, hey, I know who that guy is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of your stars are doing a bunch of other stuff. So.
Yeah. So you might have some trouble with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then some MCU TV show, or maybe MCU. Hulu is going to have a Ghost Rider and Hellstrom TV show.
Is it Hellstrom's not Hellstorm?
Hellstrom. I saw it spelled 2 different ways. One was Hellstrom, and then the other one was like he's also known as Hellstorm. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But anyway, there's going to be a Hulu series. It's supposed to still be following Robbie Reyes, but they were saying it's a new version of the character, so this may not be connected to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or the rest of the MCU.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think they should. Why not? Just get the same guy.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems weird that they'll be doing that. Obviously, this is probably going to have some darker tones because it's on Hulu and not the Disney streaming service. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But interesting enough, I'm not into like Ghost Rider, so I won't be looking at it. But it's cool that it's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I also have like 0 interest in it, but I thought it was interesting that this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes.
So he was shown tweeting out congratulations to Avengers Endgame. Also that he may be meeting with Kevin Feige.
Yes, which would be awesome. I mean, The Rock, I don't know why, but he makes a ton of money, although I don't think a lot of his movies be that good.
No, but you could tell he's a good actor,
He is, and he puts a lot into his movies. Although Jumanji was good. I
haven't watched Jumanji yet.
No, it's good. Although, is he really the star or is Kevin Hart the star?
They both are. Actually, you got a lot of people. Karen Gillan's in there and Jack Black.
That was Karen Gillan?
Yeah, that's Nebula.
I know who Nebula is. I didn't recognize that was her in Jumanji.
Yeah, that was her.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, in Marvel, she's covered in blue.
Also true. Also true. Yeah, so rumor has it I think that would be cool if he can make it to the MCU.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always for The Rock. Whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Although some of his other movies I won't watch. Like, was there one like The Tower or something like that?
The Skyscraper?
Skyscraper? Yeah. I wouldn't watch that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like stuff like that. And then what was that other movie he did with was it an earthquake or a hurricane?
San Andreas?
I think it was one of those movies that's like, it's entertaining but dumb.
Yeah. I think it was San Andreas.
Yeah, something like
that. Yeah. But give me more Rock. That's fine. Yeah. You had some theories on who he might be.
Yeah, so after I read the article on, that, him and Kevin Feige may or may not be meeting, there was a thing about, who they thought he can play. And two people that they mentioned was the Submariner, Namor, or Ben Grimm. I automatically vote no on Ben Grimm.
Yeah, definitely not. Don't waste the Rock on the thing.
I mean, he could play that character, but to me, I'm not a huge fan of the Fantastic Four. I know a lot of people are going to hate me, but I am not a huge fan, and I feel like Ben Grimm, he's just so passive, and just The Rock deserves better.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Fantastic Four, but the thing is not nearly my favorite superhero. Like, and even in the Fantastic Four, I'm like, he's like my least favorite Fantastic Four member. So, no, I don't want The Rock kind of wasted on that. Submariner, though.
I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know if I've ever talked about it here, but I have been wanting the Submariner to show up in a movie at some point.
Yeah, now it was, they couldn't because he's a mutant.
Yeah, but I wanted him to show up. He could have showed up in the X-Men. I don't care where he shows up, as long as he shows up.
Okay, I don't think, they probably, it's probably torn between studios and nobody can do a movie for him. But now they can, and it's been out there that Atlantis, or is it called Atlantis in the MCU?
Yes.
Okay. Atlantis and Wakanda war sometimes, so that could be interesting.
Which would be very interesting. I mean, they haven't written Black Panther 2 yet, right?
Yeah. I don't think so.
So, just throw that in there. Like, that would be cool. Although, I mean, Namor in the comics is like a skinny guy. Mm-hmm. The Rock is kind of big. So would he be too similar to Jason Momoa? Yeah.
Oh, man. And they're both like islanders, too. Jason Momoa is like Hawaiian,
yeah, he's Hawaiian. The Rock is half Hawaiian.
I thought he was Samoan.
Is there a difference? Excuse me.
Yeah, actually, they're not even close.
Really?
I know. I looked on the globe the other day, and I was like, wow, these islands are way further apart than I thought they were.
I always thought it was a part of Hawaii.
Yeah, nope.
No?
No.
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're Pacific Islanders.
Yeah, Samoa is closer to Australia, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think so. We'll look it up. Okay. We'll find out in the future. But, I mean, like, when I say closer, not like off the coast of Australia, but in the same way that Hawaii is closer to Japan than it is to America.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You know.
All right.
But it's really just a lonely set of islands in the ocean all by themselves.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I think that's, to me, the only kind of negative for him doing that, because would it be too similar to Aquaman that just came out?
People were saying, even before they were getting The Rock, they were saying, will they do a Namor because of the similarity to Aquaman? I'm just
going to put it like this. The MCU would do it better.
Yeah, I mean, and Aquaman was decent, and I just feel like it's not going to be the same story, though. You know, Namor doesn't have, I don't think he has that issue of, he shouldn't be the king.
No, he's ruthless.
Like, yeah, he is the king of Atlantis.
Yeah.
It's definitive, so it's not going to be the same story. Even though the characters are similar, the story is way different.
He's a completely different person than Aquaman, for sure. And then I think it'll be, like, not even to need a standalone movie, but if they did go the route with Atlantis battling with Wakanda.
Oh, man.
I mean, I just read that, and I'm like, I'll be down for that, for real.
And that fits, because Namor is a villain sometimes.
Right. And then, I mean, dude, throw in the storm, and that is all I need.
That would be way too much if you throw in both.
Whatever. She needs to show up in Black Panther at some point.
Yeah, I want it. I know a lot of people were saying, Storm doesn't need, like, the Storm actors. He says, Storm doesn't need a Black Panther. No, Storm doesn't. She stands on her own.
She does,
But I still want to see it as a fan.
She doesn't even in the comics. I mean, granted, this is me Wikipedia in the comics. Mm-hmm. She doesn't need Black Panther, but dude, Storm is a beast.
Yeah, and I want to see her in a Black Panther movie.
Yes.
so yeah.
Yeah, no, don't rain on that parade.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's that news. Maybe we'll hear some more in the coming years and see what will happen with The Rock in the MCU. Be
Although,
pretty cool.
He's kind of old though.
He can do it. Whatever.
Okay.
He can do it.
All right.
The Rock is not a person I'm worried about.
I'm just saying. I mean, didn't RDJ just retire? Ain't they like close to the same age?
I don't think so.
The Rock's like 47 or something, ain't he?
Yeah, RDJ is like 55.
Is he 55?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 10 years makes a difference.
It does.
Okay.
It makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Gotham.
Yes.
I'm going to preface this by saying that I stopped watching Gotham a long time ago because I didn't personally like the show. A lot of people have been telling me that it's gotten better, and I was like, okay. So I jumped in this season, and the series finale was good. I liked the series finale.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did not.
You didn't like the series finale?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was weak. I was expecting more to happen.
It was kind of weak, but they were ending it. What else? Like, they
I
couldn't
don't
tell
know.
a full story.
I was expecting a full story with Batman or something. Because I felt like the Jeremiah Valeska Joker thing to me felt very weak. It never felt real. Like, you know the bomb wasn't going to go off. You know Jim was going to...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you kind of knew how it was going to end.
It just... I mean, like, because when it ended, I'm like... Because I wasn't like, oh, is this like a 2-hour episode or something? Because I was just expecting something else to happen. Yeah. And then it didn't.
Yeah, and I guess they didn't have the budget for a Batman costume because you did not see it until the last second.
Yes. Yeah.
And look, I'm going to tell you right now, this wasn't one of those, oh, let's save it for the end reveal type of thing, because you have plenty of scenes where you could have revealed it, and it would have been pretty good. Yeah. And, no.
No, it was a lot of in the shadows and cape across the screen.
Yeah. So, I'm going to say they didn't have the budget to have a fully functioning Batman suit. Yeah. Which is confusing, because the CW seems to get budgets for their costumes.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, and that's the CW.
True.
Fox has got a lot more money.
I don't know.
So, I don't know. And they teased the mustache and then he shaved it off.
I know, but although he does not look good with a mustache.
I don't care. It's James Gordon. He needs a mustache.
I know they had him grow it, and I was like, this mustache is unbecoming.
Right. They changed the actress for Catwoman.
I thought they should, because...
She didn't seem... I was watching the other episodes. I'm like, she didn't seem very Catwoman.
Yeah, I think they had to.
Yeah.
I think they needed someone to be...
Plus, she had to be an adult.
She had to be an adult, even though they did keep the boy, but he had the whole suit on, so you can pretend like he's not 5'8". Yeah. But I think for her, especially since she was more prominent, you definitely needed a taller, more adult female to play that role, I think. Yeah.
So you have that, and I guess I just liked it because I was like, oh, this was interesting. But I wasn't invested in this show at all, so I was like, oh.
Yeah. I think for me, because I also stopped watching, I made it through halfway of the first season. I did not like the routes they took with the characters. Mm-hmm. And I get, make it your own, but to me, it was just so over the top and ridiculous. I did not like it. Yeah. But I did watch the most of this last season. And I could tell that if you ignore the fact that it's supposed to be about Batman people, I could see that, like,
The last few episodes, I feel like they were just throwing stuff in there. Oh, here's Bane. Oh, here is Scarface.
Which is weird, because the first few episodes was not like that. Yeah. The first few episodes wasn't like the bad guy of the week. And then it was like Bane, and then Nessa, and then I was like...
Oh, and then the real finale of the season, because the last episode was kind of a tack on to show him being Batman. Yeah. Was just a copy of The Dark Knight Rises?
Well, yes. But I'm trying to think, like, I feel like Nessa did something to them in the comic.
Was that a comic story?
I do know the bridge blowing up. I think was a part of
that
the
is
Batman,
a comic story.
Some story.
But still, this is it's a copy because the plot point of Ra's al Ghul's daughter, one of them, being mad at Batman for killing her father and using Bane to take over the city is the same plot point. Even though
it must have been in the comics. I don't.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. I have no idea.
I don't think the whole Ra's al Ghul's daughter using Bane to take over the city was in the comics.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's not. I don't think Bane would be an avenue that Ra's al Ghul would use.
No, because he's cray.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That whole plot point. Now, I know the Bridges thing, and of course Ra's al Ghul's daughter being mad at Batman / in love with Batman, whatever, is a thing, and all that. They even used the storyline for Arrow, but they didn't use Bane, thank you. But it was kind of similar with Ra's al Ghul. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. But then when you threw all the rest of the stuff in there, I'm like, this is Dark Knight Rises. Mm-hmm. Like, straight up. Like, I don't... Why? Yeah. You know... Yeah, with the city and anarchy and
I did feel like it was... To me, it felt kind of random. I'm like, oh, Nessa's back. And I'm like, why? And then even then she got away again. So.
Is there a reason why these TV shows don't use Talia?
I don't know. I think maybe it's because he's a kid. Mm. And Talia, I mean, that's nasty. No. If you're...
yeah. Well, they didn't have to do the love story. I think it's weird because, like, but Arrow too, he's not a kid,
and they use Nessa.
They use Nessa instead of Talia.
Maybe they don't have the rights because for some reason I do believe I read that Gotham didn't have the rights to the Joker. That's
really?
why.
That's why they. Oh, they never call him the Joker. They never call him the Joker. Even in the last episode.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm trying to figure out what my name is," and then he
just throw all these J's out there.
For some, which I don't understand. Like, you let them do Gotham, but not give. Maybe that's why they didn't do like the Red Hood angle. I think that would have been so much better for the show.
Red Hood angle would have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this show may have been constricted by the rights that they had. And honestly, I personally think the show would have been better if they just kept it as a crime drama with James Gordon.
I do think that, and I think, and I know, but I did stop watching it. Them starting off with like the villain of the week, mm-hmm. I don't think was a good idea. Yeah, I think it should have been more of a. I'm trying to think of a show that it just kind of continues on and on and on. I guess kind of like Daredevil or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That season, he is fighting this person. Yeah, and I think that's the route Gotham should have taken.
Yeah. It was interesting. Like the last few episodes of the season I'm watching, and it kind of, we were talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. earlier. It made me want to go back and watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I was thinking while I was watching, I'm like, man, this is really stupid. And then I was like, wait, am I being biased? Is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the same way this show is? Is my question. And maybe I want to look at it and see what the difference is. Why do I enjoy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and not this one?
I think, for me anyways, why I didn't like this show is because I'm a huge Batman fan. And I expect one thing out of Batman. Yeah. And it was something completely different. Like, I did not like what they did with Barbara Gordon Keene. Yeah. I hated. I'm like,
yeah, I think that was a weird turn.
It was just so weird. Like, all of a sudden, she's crazy and she's killing people. And then
she's a criminal. Like, I'm like, whoa.
It was, and I think it was like stuff like that. I'm like, and because I thought it was weird. But I liked what they did with the Penguin. I liked Fish Mooney until that she ended up kidnapped in this weird island with no eye. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like some things like I eventually end up liking what they did with the Riddler.
But then again, I kind of liked what they did. But then I think by the end of the show, Penguin and the Riddler, they weren't even the same characters they made them in the beginning.
Yeah, they're like they had no more story.
Yeah, and they were just like these silly. I don't know.
And it's hard to say since I've missed season 2 through 4 because I didn't watch it, so I don't know what stuff is. But I feel like in the beginning and the Penguin was like on the rise, and I'm expecting him to have like his iceberg lounge. Although he didn't end up with a club, but it just what I thought they were going to do with him, they didn't. And I really did like at the beginning the mafia angle. Yeah. And I thought that'd have been cool to kind of keep. That was good. Like, it was very interesting. Yeah, and then it's just, they turned a corner that I didn't like.
You know what I feel this show did? Mm-hmm. It went from Batman 1989 to Batman Forever. I mean, not to that extreme, but I feel like it got sillier, especially watching this last season. Yeah. I'm like, it's gotten way sillier.
It got silly, but I feel like I like Jim Gordon more and more.
Yeah.
But like everyone else, cause especially like, I know you don't know this when you're casting a kid, but the kid who's playing Bruce Wayne, he just does not fit.
Not really, no.
He has like, I know he's doing his constant angry, moody face, but I find
he does this weird walk, doesn't he?
Yeah, like I find it so unbelievable that he's just this angry person with all this. It doesn't fit him.
Yeah, he might fit as some other characters. Like maybe you can get him in some other TV shows. He seems decent.
He can be Tim Drake.
He could be Tim Drake. Honestly, he looks like a Tim Drake.
He looks like a Tim Drake.
Give me a Robin TV show. They ain't using him in the. Who
are they using in Teen Titans?
Oh wait, they have Teen Titans.
Right.
They're using Dick Grayson.
Yeah, I don't like the way that kid looks either.
Which I have to watch Titans. Didn't they say it was coming to Hulu?
Hopefully, on the way.
I'm not paying for the DC streaming service, so
no. Not at all.
Yeah, so I'll check it out and see what it's like. But apparently, it's better than what everyone was thinking.
Mean, the review seems like it's good. I'm like, but I mean, if it comes out on Hulu, I will check it out.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. The show seemed to take a turn that I didn't follow. But then again, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is silly too. This is why I wanted to kind of reevaluate and see what the difference is.
Yeah, I did watch a few episodes on Netflix, because Netflix has the first few seasons on it. And I'm like watching it now that I'm not expecting it to be one thing. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not bad. Although, I do hate what they did with Zaz. That's another...
Oh, Zaz. Yeah, that's a missed opportunity there, too.
I feel like they missed so many opportunities that kind of turned me off.
Yeah. And see, like, Zaz you can use. I think they should have stayed away from the bigger villains, to be honest. Except for, like, you have your Penguin developing, which is interesting, to see how he became Penguin, or even the Riddler. But then, like, throwing in Bane in there and, throwing in Scarface for 2 seconds, and then he's dead. I was like, what the hey?
Yeah.
Like, that's... I mean, I know they're ending, but...
It was kind of weird.
Like, why'd you have him in here for a scene, really?
Although, are we sure he didn't show up in another season?
With Scarface? No, the character was.
But not Scarface.
Not Scarface.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like... Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think they would have got away with, like, the Clock King. Although I think he might have showed up or something. But I think they, like, those mid-tier people, I think would have been cool. I think I would have definitely took a whole nother approach on Zaz. I think, because he's the guy who, like, cuts himself for every kill, right?
Yeah, serial killer.
Like, I would have definitely
That's a villain you could do over the season.
Exactly what I was going to say. You could have did that over the season, them hunting this guy down, and we at the audience is trying to figure out, like, who from Batman's gallery is this person. I think that would have been an excellent take on that.
Yeah.
But, no.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess all in all, the last season, because I wasn't expecting a lot out of it, and I figured the last episode was just kind of like introducing Batman. Another missed opportunity. No bat signal?
They had
the floodlight with no bats. I thought he was going to lift it, and there was,
But why? Remember, he just met Batman.
Well, he didn't put it together. I figured, Batman would do it.
Yeah.
He did it in Batman Begins.
Yes, but then you would have complained about that taken away from that.
Maybe I would have. I don't know.
Yeah. But you're right. That is a missed opportunity. Yeah. I was expecting it. It was all covered in the cloth and whatnot.
Yeah, they teased it, and then
it was just a spotlight.
It was just a spotlight.
Yeah, and then I really was hoping Batman comes down and he's on the roof talking to him, and then he disappeared.
Yeah, what's up with that either? Okay, but yeah, it was okay.
I think I would say the last season was good. I did not like the last episode, the series finale. I thought it felt a little empty to me.
I didn't like the previous episodes. the whole Bane Island thing. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was stupid. And then the resolution was dumb too.
Yeah, but Bane was only in the last like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
The beginning part had nothing to do with Bane.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't like those last few.
Oh. I mean, I thought the season started off really good to me.
Yeah.
And then it faltered at the end.
Yeah. But, it is a show to watch. Definitely. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. They're doing a Pennyworth TV show. So
that means it must have been good, right? If they're doing spinoffs.
No, this is even further back. So it's not a spinoff of Gotham. So it's his own TV show, and this is Alfred.
Oh, when he was in the Special Forces for Britain, London, England. I don't know.
One of those.
I don't know what's the official name.
Okay, he was in the Special Forces.
That seems interesting. Is it the same? No, he's too old.
No, I don't think this is connected to Gotham at all. So.
Oh, it's just Alfred has a show now?
Yeah, he has a show coming out, Pennyworth.
What channel?
I don't know.
It could be good, I guess, depending on the channel.
It could be. We'll check it out. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I kind of want some better TV shows.
Yeah, I would love for Gotham to be what I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Gotham wasn't what I wanted it to be when I heard that it was coming out.
Yeah.
So that might just be the difference.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, I wanted to read a comment from our Facebook page.
Oh, okay. We have comments now.
So it's just funny because, of course, we post every week to our Facebook page, mm-hmm. and last week was about Avengers Endgame, and I asked people what they thought. And most people didn't actually leave words, but they commented emojis, happy faces, surprise faces, mm-hmm. all that. But we got one person that actually left a comment. Mm-hmm. I can't pronounce his name. Kazaku Ilidan. Yep.
Way to go.
That's an excellent name, sir. He felt differently about the movie. Okay. He said, it's the most stupid movie. I lost 3 hours of my life for nothing.
Did you like the other 21 movies?
I'm not sure if he did or not.
It just makes me seem like it sounded like he probably didn't really like the other ones, but went to go see it on hype and like, this is dumb. Which, I mean, you are entitled to not like this movie. Yeah,
but he's entitled to not like it. Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. The only person that put something was the person that hated it. I'm sorry that you lost 3 hours of your life. I know you can't get them back, but I guess never watch the movie again?
I feel like I wouldn't spend another 3 hours watching it.
I did spend another 3 hours watching it.
Yes.
In a really good movie theater. They, serve you food and everything.
Oh, you went to Silver Spot?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, y'all fancy.
Fancy, yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm. You had to pay extra for the ticket and everything.
Yeah, it's $15 a ticket.
That's not extra. It's not like it's in 3D.
Yeah, but I got food served to me. And super comfortable chairs, let me tell you.
The food's not free. So it was $15 plus the price of food.
Yeah. That's true.
I can't afford no Silver Spot, but okay.
Wow, you can't? Oh.
Okay, I refused before.
I was about to say she can't afford Silver Spot. All right. But anyhow, if you guys want to leave your thoughts, be it positive or negative, let us know on our Facebook channel. It's facebook.com/3D Rivals, and we'll be glad to read out your comment on the podcast. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, make sure you visit that. If you want to get to us on an email, it is 3drivals@gmail.com. And other than that, thank you guys very much for listening.
Yep.
Bye.